Hi everyone, welcome to another episode by Poor Man Gamer. Today we're gonna go through a really cheap deck and show you how if you ever get stuck in a rut or you feel like your micro skills, meaning the way you control your units, are not up to not as good as it could be, this is a viable deck you can use. Now typically when we talk about like a speed aggressive deck, people use this for not. The laser troop, the flame troops, the cyber wheels, the bike, the tank, and the banshee. But here's something I'm going to show you guys here, and it's not a troll deck, meaning I'm not doing it just for laughs, right? What I did was pick the two cheapest units out of every category, and then I ran with it to see if it would work. And this is what it involves: the rifleman, a laser squad, the cyber wheel, the bike, the laser drones, and Venom. The reason I went so cheap is because all of these units are fast, and a lot of people, when they face off against higher level units, they tend to struggle a little bit because for whatever reason, we all feel like we hit a wall sometimes, right? I sometimes hit a wall. So I decided to run this deck first as an experiment to see, hey, it's a lot of cheap units. I wonder if it's actually possible to win too. Hey, I'm onto something here. This deck could actually be viable. And I actually ran this in my other account, which is almost a Masters 2 now. And even in that level, it's still quite viable. So here I'm going to show you guys a deck that at first I try to do as a joke and go, haha, cheap deck challenge, to, hey, this deck could be something. And here's what you do. Start out with a rifleman, start with a harvester and a rifleman in this deck. Right, and then play the matchups properly, because most people open with either the cyber wheels or they open with a missile squad, right? Most people open with either a infantry or vehicle. If it's a vehicle unit, go ahead and roll up vehicles. If it's a so here's what I'm saying: if you see infantry like that matchups, riflemen do great against missile squads, right? Just as you see here, and I'm gonna go 3-on-1. And if you see a shockwave, roll out a cyber wheel. Notice the difference in economy here. I'm already 50 ahead, right? And now with him rolling out his Lieutenant Strongarm, I'm coming out ahead even more. There really isn't much point to save your economy, right? The only reason I'm doing it is because I'm showing you that is viable. So you can start like this and combine your deck with incredibly strong units if you really want to, like an avatar or stealth tanks, and this deck is going to become pretty deadly. So here's how you use it. When the missile is about 5/8 of the way, you know, just past 3/4, you know, when it's just before it's about to take off, open up your Seth drill pod and throw it onto the pad where you could gain an advantage. That's how you use this deck. This is my first time using it, so as you can see, I get up to kind of a slow start, and I actually lose this first missile, right? Or at least I thought I did anyway. But as you can see here, like how close it was. And then how you do is you always try to contest all 3 missile tiles, and you always keep everything moving around. So there, I go ahead and clear out the middle. I know that I don't have any advantage right now, so I'm actually going to go ahead and roll out my laser drones and do some damage to the vehicles. Even though it loses, I know this missile I am going to lose. I roll out bikes. You know, first time using it, I'm feeling out the deck. So what I'm doing right now seems a little discombobulated, doesn't seem that well used. It's basically what you're going to experience as well if it's your first time running through this deck. Unless, of course, you watch this video, in which case you're going to be a lot better. How you use the laser drones is you use it to harass the harvester, right? When they're not noticing or not paying attention. At all times, you always want the missile to be charged up. And because of all of the money I was able to save in the beginning, I don't need a harvester anymore. Because this deck is so cheap, and because I don't need a harvester, now it's all about playing the right matchups. If you see shockwaves, roll out cyber wheels, just like I'm doing right there. See that? Cyber wheel, cyber wheel. You see vehicle, roll out laser squads. So there's my laser squads. I see the tank, I see the Pitbull. He's probably looking for my harvester. I don't have one. And if you look at that, all matchups, see that? Cyber wheels against his shockwave troops. I have my missile squad against his tank, right? And now I'm on 2 tiles. He's on 1. I'm gonna get this win. The Venom against shockwaves even. And look at this. It's a beautiful, beautiful matchup deck. I'm gonna go ahead and use my laser squad to take out his pred tanks. I see vehicles, I'm gonna send my laser squad. If I see a rhino or something like that, I would send the bike, right? So as you can see, it's actually a very, very effective deck. I'm standing there waiting for the Lieutenant Strongarm to die before I move my way in. I do see a shockwave, and I do see his Pitbull. I'm gonna go roll up my list as best I can. Roll up my my laser squad, or what you can do is called a the opposite of a counter, which is send a unit that does not die. So instead of trying to gain an advantage by killing it, you do the exact opposite by sending a unit that won't die. So in the top there, Flame Troop against Pitbull, the Flame Troop isn't going to die. All I gotta do in the middle is spam troops, and I'm gonna win this missile. And as you can see here, the main advantage is because I don't really need a harvester, I just spam units out and contest the missile tiles. Even if they have really strong units, if you're standing on like all 3 spots and you completely block them off, they can't jump on the missile, you're gonna get the win. Alright? And I'm gonna show you guys some better matchups here. I actually play a little bit better after playing that first game. Because I'm starting to get the hang of the deck, and by the end of it, you're gonna see how advantageous speed is. It's actually a lot of fun because I ran into somebody in my own clan, and we had a great laugh about it. His name is Captain Obvious, so thank you for the matchup. So again, with this deck, you don't need a lot of economy, just a little bit in the beginning. So very common beginning. You see that the enemy opens with a Cyber Wheel or War Dog, and I open with a Rifleman. I don't have a matchup advantage, so what do? Dance around, try to keep an eye on what the opponent is doing. See how patient I am? I could have just built a laser squad, or just be a little patient and wait, and then roll out bikes, because it's cheap, right? And the bikes are gonna do tremendous amount of damage against those Cyber Wheels. It crushes Cyber Wheels. It's almost like bikes are designed to kill Cyber Wheels. And if they're chasing you like a dummy, like you see over there, go ahead and use your Rifleman, run them by the bikes, and lure them in, right? So there's the bike matchup again. I'm going to send my other bike up, and now I'm going to send my laser squad. Riot laser squad do great against stealth tanks. So check this out. What's he going to do? Pew, 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 pew. Doesn't do a lot of damage against me, right? And out comes a Cyber Wheel. I'm not too concerned because I have the first fire advantage. And look at here. By spamming units, I'm on all 3 tiles. I use my bike to block off his chem buggy. Block him off, and I get this first missile. See that? And now, I do see his chem buggy. I am letting him kill off some of my infantry just a little bit because I don't really need it, right? I noticed I ran away too late, so I'm going to go ahead and play my matchup advantage. Here's the laser drone again. Its primary function is to harass the harvester when the opponent does not expect it. Right now, I am waiting to engage all of his bikes because I can't find an opening to sneak in my laser drone, which is why it's just sitting there. Right, out comes the chem buggy again. I'm gonna run away and save every unit possible. See that? Stand there. Let the chem buggy stand there. He just traded off a, 60 Tiberium unit to kill a 10 Tiberium unit. Here's the stealth tank again. Wow, congratulations, you killed my laser drone. What's gonna happen? Oh, I know. How about I just roll a missile squad against you? Look at this here. He's got 2 stealth tanks on the deck now. It's 3/4 of the way. I'm opening up with my drill pod. Remember this, guys, drill pods in the beginning when you open them is treated like a vehicle, meaning you will take damage like a vehicle. So what I do is I open 1 tile away from where I want it to go, so I don't take on too much damage. And if now that the stealth tank blew his load on my flame troops instead of when it was coming out as a shell, I'm able to survive. And see this deck, because I'm able to spam infantry and spam units, I jump on all 3 tiles, and he loses, despite the fact he had superior firepower. And that's the beauty of this deck. It is so incredibly cheap, and if you can keep the missile count going, you can squeeze out a few wins. And as you can see here, and I'll show you, I am actually weaker than my opponent in almost every single matchup. Right? See that? Maxed out level 9s and 10s, 8s and 9s. None of my level 9s are leveled up except the bike. See that? Much weaker. So now I'm going to show you a great game here against somebody in my clan named Captain Obvious. It was a really fun match. He microed his units really, really well. And after playing him, I am tempted sometimes to stop posting videos on how to micro and how to play with speed, because when I run into people that I know, like him, I start getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, you know, what if I lose? It's so embarrassing. I'm the guy on YouTube with the big loud mouth trying to tell everybody I'm a great player. No, not really. I'm not a great player. I just share what I do know. Here, in this case, I see the War Dog, and there's no matchup advantage. I know the next thing that's going to roll out is a Pitbull. That's okay, right? I'm patiently waiting, patiently waiting. There's the Pitbull. There's the confirmation I need. I roll down with the bike, and instead of targeting the Pitbull, I actually target the War Dogs. The reason is because War Dogs can do a very good job blocking off, and the best counter I actually have against his Pitbull is going to be my laser troops, right? That's why I hesitated there. I'm finally moving away my Harvester, and that's the reason I targeted his War Dog, is so that his I can go 2-on-1, and I don't have to worry about his constant pressure on me. So there it is, a great example of me being able to roll out more troops because it's cheap. He's trying to jump on all 3 tiles. I open my stealth drill pod a little later than I normally would like, but I'm on all 3 tiles now. I have a matchup advantage across the entire map. He does not, and he's going to lose his first missile. And as you can see, he pressured me quite well in the beginning. He probably could have sacrificed his Pitbull. I am keeping an eye on everything, and I noticed he didn't build a Harvester. So I learned afterwards that it was just an honest mistake. Sometimes people forget to build Harvesters. Everybody does. Right? I do it sometimes. And that is actually the primary reason why he lost this match at this point of the game. And as you can see though, in the beginning of the match, right, like I was able to gain a huge advantage. So now I'm moving around thinking, where's his Harvester? Where's his Harvester? Is he going to build one? Is he going to build one? He's not. So I just go ahead and form a literal wall, finish off this match. I'll show you guys a rematch, which is a lot closer, because we had a great laugh in our chat after and saying, you forgot to build a Harvester. So I'm going to show you that match now. It's a tournament level style. So take a look here, right? Everyone's even. Where is he? Was it? Yep. So we're all evened up. There's a GDI deck, very common deck that we're going to see nowadays. And I'm going to show you, the reason I'm showing you all these different matches is I'm showing you the versatility of this deck. The riflemen, the cyber wheels do great against infantry. The missile squads and the bikes do great against vehicles, right? And the Venom does a great job against machine guns. Those MG squads, right? Which are so irritating. And I'll show you how to kill those as well, because I know they're a sore point for a lot of people. So in this deck, I almost always open with my barracks because it's the cheapest. And that way I have a counter against vehicles, I have a counter against air units, and I have a counter against infantry all in one with my riflemen and my laser squads. The key in the beginning is to be patient, see what they're going to do first. I didn't roll up my laser drone right in the beginning. Again, going after the War Dog, get my shot off, I'm going to back it off right away. Right? No point keeping the bike there because the bike doesn't continuously fire. By backing off, I'm able to just do a little bit more damage against those War Dogs. You see that? I got 2 free shots off essentially. I do see his War Dog on the bottom, and it is not a matchup advantage for me. But in this case, look how far I've weakened his War Dog. War Dog is down. I'm able to roll up my laser squad to go against his Pitbull. I'm protecting my bike, right? So even though I had a mismatch on the bottom, it wasn't a huge deal because War Dogs don't do a lot of damage, right? I'm going to go ahead and let my rifleman die because, again, not a big deal. Roll out another bike because my laser squads are not going to do well against the Talon there. My bike is, and he rolled out his health drone a little bit too late, so I take that out real quick, and now I am standing on 2 pads. I'm going to, again, play the matchup with my bike on the top. I do see that he's got a shockwave, and it makes me a little bit nervous, right, and there's really not much I can do. That's why I open my stealth drill pod. I'm standing on 3 tiles, he's standing on 2, I form a wall on the bottom, and I get this first missile. And like I said, this match is a lot closer than you think. There comes this Pitbull, and again, I do have a matchup advantage because when the bike is stationary, the Pitbulls beat the bikes. Okay, that's just the way it is because it's a cheaper unit. But if your bikes are stationary first and you can get a shot off before the Pitbull, you actually do good damage against it. And using bikes takes skills. I see a bike there, 2 units that are down to 1 health. I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice them because with this deck, it's all about fresh units, right? Let them die, keep that missile charge as much as possible. So there's the bike again. Bang against the Talon. I do see his healing drone. Healing drones are pretty deadly. Captain Obvious, since you're in my clan, one advice I would give you is with this deck, don't use a Liang drone because none of your units really have a lot of health. It's not worth healing. It makes more sense if you use a Lieutenant Strong Arm, or if you use a Colonel Jackson, right? And I only say that because you're in my clan. If you're not, I wouldn't be giving you free advice. I charge you for it. Nah, just kidding. So there it is with the matchup again, right? My cyber wheels are taking damage from the shockwave. My missile squads, my laser squads are doing damage against vehicles, right? And now I'm going to be on 3 pads. There's no way he's going to kill me fast enough with the vehicles with my infantries on the top and me blocking him off on the bottom. I don't care about his Orca. Even if he hit my cyber wheel, I'm still going to knock out all of his units faster than he's going to knock out mine because I'm on 3 pads and he isn't, right? And with that, I get the win. Like I said, pretty close match. And this deck is shockingly effective, right? It's the best way I can put it. It really surprised me. And so for a lot of you, I wouldn't recommend this for a championship run, like a rivals matchup. But I think for regular matches, it's versatile enough that if you don't have high-level units, these are your cheapest units that you can possibly use in the game. They're units that you basically unlock almost from the get-go, right? So it's a viable deck that anyone can use. I'm going to show you here again a matchup against MG squads. As you can see, here's how you do it. So I scroll out, I see his MG squad. He probably should have moved up 1 more tile, so I can't stand there and charge the missile. Okay, and it's all about patience. I care more about charging up the missile than I care about killing his MG squad, because I have no matchup advantage. So there's his second set of MG squads. I'm going to run away. I'm not going to engage him, because my Venom will take good care of him. So there's my Venom, and I go pew 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 pew, right? And down he goes. Oh wait, that's not the sound it makes. It goes brrr, brrr. Look at that. And it's gonna knock it out real quick. And see the Pitbull there? That's fine. Probably should have sacrificed my Venom, but part of the strategy with this deck is to save every unit possible, so that if the enemy pressures and you lose your Harvester, you can just go without a Harvester. There I am again on all 3 pads. I am letting him go on. I don't move my infantry up because I'm worried about his MG squad. I'm going to go let my Venom die at this stage. I see his MG squad move up. I probably should have moved my Rifleman a little bit earlier. I didn't pay attention. Fortunately, it didn't do a lot of damage against me. Again, talking about matchup advantage. My laser squad is going to do great against those Pitbulls, right? And I got my Venom in the back to harass his MGs before they get to settle down. And I should have moved my Rifleman up to, you know, let this missile keep going. Foolish me, didn't do it. There's another MG squad. Not overly concerned. I'm gonna let my Rifleman die at this stage of the game because he's not contributing much to anything. I'm gonna go ahead and roll my Venom out. I'm gonna go around him, his Pitbulls. I should have went around his Pitbulls. Even when I rematch, I watched this before and I thought I rolled around him. Apparently I failed. That's okay, because this deck is cheap. And look at this. 100 and what? 40 Tiberium? 150 Tiberium? To take out 1 laser squad. Why? Because this deck frustrates the crap out of people. Look at this. Right? He keeps blowing up my units, and I keep rolling out new units. And it feels like he's not making a dent against me. Now the missile's almost done. Notice how with my drill pod 1 tile away, so it doesn't get murdered by the Pitbull and lose a ton of health. I'm on 3 tile, he's on 2. And even though he's doing everything right, he's going to lose. Because this deck is all about speed. And what a beautiful deck, right? And it's a lot of fun to use as well. And hopefully this deck really shows you the beauty of this deck. I'm not going to show you this last match here because he's just a high-level guy trying to use high-level units. It doesn't use it very well. And so guys, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and have yourself a wonderful day. Take care.